Hey my friend, I thought today I would show you a little bit more of New Zealand and talk a little bit about how I deal with the disappointment of a did not finish. Obviously not quite the result I wanted at the Tarawera 100-miler, but super thrilled to see Thomas crush that sucker and pick up that jade necklace. That was pretty amazing to see him finish his first 100-miler.
Your propensity for resilience is unbelievable. It really, really is. And your outlook on life is, I don't know what word to put on that. Inspiring, maybe. Because even this whole time that you've never complained about it or anything. You had that one moment where you broke down, and then you said that you were just enjoying the disappointment of it. Interesting concept.
If you run ultra marathons, you know that DNFs are inevitable in your career. Almost as inevitable as disappointment is in life in general. So I thought today I would share with you a little bit about how I deal with the disappointment of a DNF. After spending months and months and months and months and months and months and months of training, spending thousands of dollars to fly halfway across the world for my dream race in Rotorua, New Zealand, having a flu bug wipe me out at the start line was disappointing, to say the least. So the question is, how do I deal with that disappointment of the did not finish, the DNF? For me, the first thing that I do is I really lean into that discomfort, lean into that disappointment. Allow it to happen, not deny it, suppress it, avoid it, but really just take a pause, sit with it, and allow it to come up and just experience it. The second thing for me is to understand that disappointment and DNFs are just part of the process. For me, running isn't a one and done kind of thing, it's a lifestyle. And we talked in a previous video about making that commitment to the process. And when you understand that part of the process is failure, part of the process is disappointment, part of the process is DNFs along the way, it makes it that much easier to accept when they do happen. You know, it was interesting, at that last check stop that I saw Michelle, she knew I wasn't feeling well, so she got Dave Proctor, my coach, on a video call. And Dave asked me something that I thought was fairly profound. He asked me, is it painful or is it just uncomfortable? And I thought about that for a minute, and at that point, the stomach bug was uncomfortable. I mean, it was very uncomfortable. And I told him that. And he said to me, you know what? You can deal with discomfort. Get back out there. And so I did. And, you know, obviously an hour and a half later, that change, that discomfort actually became quite painful and got to the point where I just couldn't keep anything down anymore. Any fluids, any solids, everything was coming back up. No matter what I did. So I had to make the decision to pull the plug and manage those expectations. Understand that sometimes things out of your control happen, and it's just part of life. It's part of the process. One of the other things for me that helps me deal with the disappointment of a DNF is finding the successes of others, looking to celebrate the successes of others. And in this particular race, that was easy because I got to run with my buddy Thomas, who did finish the race. And this was Thomas's first 100-mile finish. So it was pretty incredible to watch that unfold, pretty incredible to see the footage of him cross that finish line and get that big old hug from his partner, Sarah. at the end. So it was pretty incredible. One of the other things for me is just to be able to reflect on the fact of where my bar has been set. You know, it's pretty incredible that my failure today is running almost 50 miles with a stomach bug. You know, if you'd asked me 2 years ago, 3 years ago, what my benchmark for disappointment would be, I would have been pretty thrilled to be able to run 50 miles, period. Let alone being able to run 50 miles with a stomach flu. So, you know, it's pretty cool to reflect and think about where your benchmark is today and what disappointment means to you, and understand that, you know, that benchmark for disappointment just keeps getting higher and higher and higher. One of the other things that I reflect on is, you know, if I'm not reaching disappointment, if I'm not failing at some point, I'm probably not pushing myself hard enough. And that gives me a great deal of comfort when I reflect and think about that. Anyways, my friend, I'm curious. Drop me a note in the comments. Let me know how you deal with the disappointment of a DNF or disappointment in life in general. I would love to hear from you. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, hit like, hit subscribe, and I will see you next week.